Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, an epidemic of violence is sweeping the city, and the one common thread is the motivation for each event. Tonight's movie, God Told Me To.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Yes. The year that is going to be full of the cuts, the guts, and the sluts. Yes, tonight we are going to do a review of a movie that is, I don't know, it's hard to define what it is. It's not a slasher. It's not necessarily supernatural, but it could be. I guess it technically is supernatural in our understandings. It's a movie that is quite shocking in its content, and that is the movie God Told Me To. God Told Me To. Warning, this film contains scenes of violence and intense horror. Hey man, if you're gonna put that on the label, man, you're gonna have to bring it, right? So does the movie bring it? Well, let's find out. So what is God Told Me To about? Well, after a string of violent incidences, including shootings and stabbings and whatnot, all where the perpetrator basically says, God told me to, it is up to a detective to figure out what's going on. Is there some sort of cult conspiracy? Is people going through like some sort of psychotic breakdown? Or is it possible that we are entering in the end times and God is bringing his wrathful judgment upon us all? Well, it might even be something else. So, let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. The kills aren't overly bloody. There is blood. There is some throat slashing scenes. But honestly, it's the impact of the violence. There are a lot of people getting killed in this movie. It is a high body count movie, to be sure, and the fact that the I guess set pieces involving mass shootings, especially nowadays, is a bit even higher edge subject matter, but was quite controversial when it came out, and definitely a movie they could not make today. Holy cow, there would just be all kinds of like problem. So 3 out of 5 shock value. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. Look, I gotta be vague with this movie because I don't want to give anything away because it's definitely weird and it's strange. But the subject matter and the violence and what happens and what's kind of behind it and what's going on is all quite shocking and quite controversial. And it definitely makes you question things about reality and stuff like that. Makes you think. And it's very, it's hard to find horror movies that make you think, make you contemplate things. And when they do, they're quite the diamonds in the rough, I guess you would say. And there's something special about that. And it's definitely good to talk about these movies and to expose them to a broader audience, because I think that it does delve into some pretty interesting esoterical stuff, and definitely creates a conversation piece, at least with your friends, your family, maybe just within your mind. But yeah, it's 3.5 out of 5. Moving on to plot. Plot is a 4 out of 5. It goes from what the hell is going on to what the hell is going on to what the hell is going on to what the fuck has just happened. And that's basically it. Yeah, there are some slower moments in this movie. It does meander a bit from time to time, but honestly, it is just unique and weird and strange, and it poses an interesting thought piece, and it is entertaining. So yeah, 4 out of 5. I'm giving the acting a 4 out of 5. The man who plays the detective is brilliant in this movie. I love him. Most everyone is pretty good in this movie. There are a few misses here and there, but overall, super solid. Great acting, 4 out of 5. Moving on to Nudity. Nudity is going to be a 1.5 out of 5. And honestly, you just got a couple brief scenes, and they kind of explain things that are happening in the plot, and it's you pretty much see everything in the first scene and a little bit in the second scene, but it's not overly all high quality or gratuitous, I would say. 1.5 out of 5. My enjoyment factor for this movie is a 4 out of 5. It makes you think. It's weird. It's strange. It's got just these set pieces that are just wow, crazy, and it's not like one of those crazy Japanese movies where things are just insane. It's just like it's in your face, but less so, and it's not over the top. It takes itself seriously, so it doesn't become sort of like cheesy, and so it's really hard to describe because it's just weird and strange, and it's like a rabbit hole you go down into, and it's just like fascinating. It's like a movie that takes place in another world in a way. I would feel, and it deals with all kinds of subjects within humanity, and so yeah, it's definitely a deep movie. So 4 out of 5. My overall impression is a 4 out of 5. This is, I would say, criminally overlooked by a lot of people because you don't really hear a lot of people say much about this movie. But yeah, it is controversial. If you have sensitivities for certain things, it may, make you very uncomfortable. It definitely raises a whole lot of questions and issues, and I think it's strong, and I think it's something that people should watch and to realize, yes, it's a work of fiction, it's a work of fantasy that, far too often may have been reflected in society at large, especially in the last few years. But, yeah, it is a watch. It is definitely a watch, and a very solid movie, 4 out of 5. And that averages out to an impressive 3.4 out of 5. God told me to. It is an experience. It is definitely an experience. And yes, I realize that Blue Underground made a 4K version. Of course, they announced the 4K version after I purchased the Blu-ray, because, that's how it goes, right? Anyways, but yeah, I highly suggest this movie. Anyways, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Do you think I was overly vague? I'm trying to be vague, but give you sort of a sense of what's going on. I mean, it's a movie from the 70s, so you got to get that 70s aesthetic going. A lot of the violence is gunplay, so I'll put that out there too. But anyways, it's weird too. It's weird. It's a weird movie. So, anyways, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And once again, thank you for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And remember, everyone, please stay scary. And, man, yeah, if you're driving along in the rain and there's you see a naked woman coming towards you, and you decide to give her a ride, you probably aren't going to believe the crazy story that she's going to spin anyways, because this is just completely unusual. Plus, the fact is, that stuff only happens in the movies, right? I mean, that is not, real. I'm sure, the woman would have tried to find something to cover herself, or I don't know. Anyways, yeah, strange. Plus, it's, usually those flashbacks, they usually do black and white, but they did the wonderful sepia tones. Quick hit, sepia tones. They work well. Black and white, kind of overdone. Anyways,